Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dancing Sober podcast. Thank you once again for coming back here. We appreciate you so much. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel. It's free and it helps this channel a lot. And hit the like button if you like today's episode. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Movita Juice Bar. Go to movitajuicebar.com or use your food apps to order something delicious from them. They only use good stuff in all of their products. Big shout out to Outer Circle Media right here where we do this podcast. If you want to do a podcast, you can look them up at outercirclemedia.com. Today's guest is none other than the most entertaining musician in East LA. Ladies and gentlemen, Princess Frank. Hey everybody, welcome back once again to the Dancing Sober podcast. And today we have a blast from the past, and really this guy is a blast. I mean, do people still use the word party animal? I don't know, but
I use the word professional now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Princess Frank.
Hello.
If you've never heard of this guy, he's a drummer, he's an actor, and we're going to get all into that right now.
Sometimes I act like a drummer. Actually, more I act like a guitar player. I identify as a drummer, but I do play other instruments.
Why did I say drummer?
No, I am a drummer. I play drums for like everybody in town.
So
I'm in six bands right now.
Yeah. I mean, you do even the one-man band thing. So
It's
the
a
one-man rock
show.
Yeah.
I've patented that
nice.
that hashtag.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that's all I can do now. Is like I own that hashtag. That's my shit.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, man.
It's been quite a fucking long time.
We've known each other like at least 22, 23 years.
Oh, God.
Estamos viejito.
Fuck. When did Killsonic start?
As far as being called Killsonic was 2000.
Yeah.
In the year 2000.
So like about 20 fucking 2 years. But
2 years ago, yeah.
we'll get into that right now. But let's
Yeah.
start with Princess Frank.
Princess Frank.
Primero eras Francisco Luis.
Yeah, Frank Michael. No, my dad is from Cuba. He's Cubano.
Yeah.
So he got the fancy name Francisco.
Okay.
Francisco Reynaldo Luis. But I was born in Los Angeles, so I'm Frank Michael.
Frank Michael. Okay.
Frank Michael Luis. So like all my mom's side of the family, they're
get it.
Mexicano from El Paso.
Okay.
And they moved here to Echo Park in '68. And then my Cuban family, my dad and his family moved from Cuba to Los Angeles, Echo Park, a couple blocks from each other, actually, by the original Tommies right there in '68, '69. And then they met in the early '70s, and then I was born. But my mom's side of the family is all Mexicano, but like none of them speak Spanish.
What year were you born?
None of them speak Spanish. What year was I born?
That's hilarious.
I was born in
All right.
19.
So you grew up in Echo Park initially?
My family moved. Yeah, I grew up on the 2 freeway.
Oh shit! On the freeway?
pretty much, you know, because my
Where
when I was born, my dad's family, Cubanos, moved to Eagle Rock.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but my grandmother, my great grandmother, and my other family was still in Echo Park. So, back and forth twice a day, 2 freeway, Eagle Rock to Echo Park. Gotta take a bebe. They still call me bebe. I'm like in my 40s. They still call me bebe. It's so funny. I go to Miami to visit my family. Bebe. So yeah, back and forth twice a day between grandma's house and the other family's house, the 2 freeway.
And where'd you go to school?
Eagle Rock High School.
Okay.
Eagle Rock High School had a jazz band program.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was a kid, my dad was a limousine driver through LA and Hollywood. So I grew up pretty much going with my dad everywhere. So I knew how to get everywhere in the city, you know, from Northeast LA. Is the hub for me. Like, my territory is like, Pasadena to like Hollywood. And then, you know, Glendale, Burbank a little bit. But, you know, I'm from that part of LA. Like, that's my home, you know. And then, but so my dad was, you know, my parents were like super rock and roll parents, but they were kind of crazy, you know, Hollywood kids. So I stayed with my grandparents a lot.
When did you start hearing that music?
Oh, as soon as I could remember, man. I mean, I'm here in LA. I grew up on KLOS, man. I'm all Led Zeppelin for life, you know.
So your parents were in Hollywood themselves, they were entertainers.
No, they're just partied.
Oh, okay.
They were just parties, man. Like that's all they did. So, and I grew up listening to rock and roll. You know, KLOS. I grew up listening to Beatles, Hendrix, Zeppelin, and all that stuff. And then my grandparents, they'd listen to música cubana, and then my other parents listened to Mexicano románticos, and I just grew up with. And then back then we had Key Earth 101 that actually played oldies. Remember? Yeah. So I listened to all of that music was in my life. And
well, they still play oldies, but
yeah, you can consider Nirvana oldies.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
But I grew up around music all the time, and then this is my first concert was the Pretenders.
Oh, shit.
At the Universal Amphitheater. I was probably like 7 or 8, and it was my mom's birthday.
Wow.
And she wanted to see the Pretenders, and I got to go.
Wow.
So my first concert was the Pretenders. My second concert was in 1986, I think, for Michael Jackson, the Jackson's Victory Tour at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
My mom took me. That was my second concert. I was like I said, 7 or 8. I had the Michael Jackson, the sparkly socks and the glove, and I was like, I was so excited to see Michael Jackson. He was my hero, And then I think probably around.
We have the picture. Put the picture.
I know. Oh, my mom took pictures of me, man. Oh my God. Just once she's like, do this. There's a picture of me as a little kid. I'm all like,
yeah. That's hilarious.
I know. I did a lot of silly stuff. I was always like one of those little kids that was like jumping on the bed, pretending I was on stage, and pretending I was in a band, because that's all I really liked. And then. So
when did you actually start picking up instruments?
Not until I was in 7th grade. So I'd say 1990. I started Eagle Rock High School because it's 7 through 12 school. And I'm like, oh, they offer music. Oh, I'm take instrument and learn how to play guitar or something. Because I wanted to be rocking out. And I walk in, and the teacher, Mr. Gibble, he's like, hey, I'm Frank. He's like, hey, Frank, what do you want to play? And I looked over his shoulder, and there was a drum set. And I'm like, oh, I'll play the drums. He's like, all right, go play the drums. So I spent the whole 7th grade playing drums in the orchestra. We played a couple little jazz things and this and that. I remember the first time I took a drum solo in front of people. It was 8 bars of drum solo, and it was the most terrifying moment of my life. I was 13 years old. Wow. And I was like, here comes my drum solo. And then it was over, and I was like, oh my God, I just took a drum solo. But my dad bought me my first drum set for my birthday when I turned 13. I was like, Dad, I'm playing the drums.
What year was that?
1989.
So you were 13 in 1980. Shh. Go on.
So yeah, I turned 13, and I was like, Dad, I'm playing drums. Buy me a drum set. He said, well, can you play the drums? I said, take me to Guitar Center, the one on Hollywood, Sunset. Yeah. He took me there, and I needed drumsticks. He bought me some drumsticks. I went in the drum room, and I was like, check it out, Dad. And I played, and he was like, oh shit, you can play the drums. All right. So he bought me a drum set, and then from there it was like, as soon as I got into 8th grade, I was they threw me in. They had a junior and senior jazz band at Eagle Rock. So all of a sudden, I'm in the jazz band. Oh, here you're in the jazz band. You're in the big band. Here's your drum chart. And here you're playing with them and this and that. And like, okay, I'm not. So I didn't start with rock and roll bands.
Yeah.
My first band was the big band orchestra. We're playing Duke Ellington and Count Basie tunes and that old Black Magic and all these these songs standards and with the jazz band. And then from there it was like, oh, you could play the drums in rock and roll bands. Like, oh, okay. But I'm like 14, 15, and everybody's older than me. So I'm like, I don't have a car. I have a drum set. And so my dad's driving me to my gigs. Like, early 90s, there was nowhere to play, really. There wasn't like Echo Park Scene or Silver Lake. There was only the Sunset Strip. Yeah. So I'm like, Dad, I'm playing at the Roxy. I'm playing at the Roxy tonight. He's like, you're playing at the Roxy? I'm like 15, right? And then, like I said,
a Cheech and Chong movie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm like, Dad, I'm playing, at the Roxy. So he's like, okay, cool. So he drives me to the Roxy. I got my drum set. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, okay, you got to wait out here. You're too young to be inside. I'm like, oh my God, really? So my dad drops me off on the Sunset Boulevard. I'm there with my drum set, waiting while everybody's inside because they're like 16 and above. And I waited, and I'm like, all right, kid, get in there. I'm like, all right. I get on the stage and play. They're like, woo, all right, get out. So there I am again on Sunset Boulevard with my drums.
Just waiting.
Paging my dad from the payphone because it was that time. And I'm paging him, waiting for him to call back on the stupid payphone. Hey, Dad, I'm done at the Roxy. He's like, I just dropped you off. It's only been like 40 minutes. I know. I'm done. So that went on.
You weren't able to hang out, so.
No, I mean, I'm sitting on Sunset Boulevard.
And who did you play with then?
Oh, I don't even remember, man. I've been in.
It was just friends and.
No, it was we had a band. You know, I don't remember the name of it. It was like the Blips or something. Who knows, man? That was a long time ago. Was it Manta Ray, the Blips, or like Johnny Malta? I don't know. I was a teenager. Yeah, I was actually going over that with a friend of mine. Like, how many bands have I been in? Like, oh my.
You should do the family tree thing.
Man, it's astronomical amount of bands I've been in, man. It's over 45, like older than me. More bands than the age I am. You know, like more than that even. So yeah, and then my dad, the day I turned 16, my dad's like, "Here, I bought your car. Get the fuck out." So then, the day I turned 16, I had a car.
So he kicked you out of the house?
No, he didn't kick me out of the house.
Oh.
He just said, "Drive yourself to your gigs. You have a car.
Cool.
You have a car."
Yeah, back then,
Go.
like, everybody would drive at 16, and nowadays, kids don't want to learn to drive.
Man, my brother and sister are 16 years younger than me, and they barely got their licenses a few years ago. It's like, what are you guys
wait
doing?
till they're like 21, 24.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, don't you want to do anything for yourself? Like, go. You know, my brother with cars and crashed them, or, oh, I broke my phone, and they just buy him another one. I'm like, mother, go get a job. Jesus. Like, the reason my parents trusted me and bought me a drum set and bought me a car was because I had something going on.
You were working on something.
I was doing something. I wasn't just out there, messing around, getting in trouble. I was like going to rehearsal. I was hanging out with my friends because we were doing something. It wasn't just, oh, let's go fucking tag something or let's go, do something stupid. It was like, no, I have things I got to do. Like, I was when I was younger, young teenager, I had all my skater friends and they were all skating. And I was skating a little bit, and then once I started playing the drums, I'm like, nah. You guys are all breaking your hands and breaking your arms and breaking. I'm like, nah, I can't mess with that. So I stopped skating, but I still had all my skater friends. And then I was in high school. I was in everybody's punk band as the driver and the drummer. It
was cool to be the only guy with a car back then.
Oh yeah.
I remember I got a ticket once for having 10 people in my car because
dude,
nobody had cars.
Nobody had cars.
Then.
My first car was a '68 Volkswagen Bus, which was like my dad got for like $800. Yeah. But it was a big, a van. I fit 14 kids onto that car. We all went to McDonald's drive-thru. We went to McDonald's drive-thru and almost bottomed out on the thing. Yeah. I had everybody gets cheeseburgers. We need like 34 cheeseburgers.
I had a Pinto with a hatchback.
Oh my God!
And back then there was no seatbelt laws.
Right.
So you could just shove people in the back, and they didn't have to have seatbelts, and you could just fucking
cruise around. I know exactly. But then,
crazy.
but my parents trusted me because I had something to do. Also, I had a job. Like,
wait, so now they give you a car and you just fucking start hitting the band scenes? Or
I'm just playing, driving to rehearsal, driving to wherever. But I'm from Eagle Rock. In Eagle Rock, there used to be a comic book shop called Another World Comics, right there on Townsend, in between the Trader Joe's and the Tommy's. And I loved comic books, right? So we ended up moving to Eagle Rock, and I'm like, we actually moved there because I begged my mom. We found a place like right around the corner from the comic book shop. I was like, Mom, it's right around the corner from the comic shop. Please move there. So I ended up moving there down the street from Casabianca in Eagle Rock, and I ended up going to the comic shop. And then finally, I'm like 12, and the lady's like, hey, you're here a lot. We need some help. You want to work a little bit? I was like, yeah. So from 12 till I was 18 years old, I worked at the comic book store.
Wow.
Dream come true, right?
Wow.
So I got comic books. I got paid. I had a car. I was playing, so my parents, they trusted me and they just let me do whatever because they knew that I had a good head on my shoulders. I wasn't just trying to be a stupido,
Yeah.
So that's where everything started, I mean, what a blessed little life I've had,
So when do you think is the first band that you had that felt like you had something going on, or did it always feel like?
Man, it's always felt like that. Oh my God, everything.
You have had some great bands.
I've done some amazing things, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was like 14 or 15 the first time I went into a studio to do a recording.
Oh shit!
And it was like,
I did that in Magic Mountain. I don't know if you remember that.
Wait,
they had a little recording booth.
Oh, they did. Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Go in there and karaoke.
Yeah, you could karaoke a thing. No, but I went to my first studio with my first. I think it was, like I said, it was either, who the hell was it? It was the Blips or Johnny Malter. Was it a Manta Ray? I don't know. But not. I was just a drummer. But we go in the studio and we're gonna make these 5-song, EP. I'm like, what's an EP? Like, oh, it's only like 5 or 6 songs. Oh, okay, cool. We go. My dad, we'd spent 3 days there. The guy who was the singer at the time, he was like really into the Pixies, and I hadn't heard the Pixies really that much yet. And he's like, yeah, man, this is the place where the Pixies recorded this record, and Black Francis is probably gonna come by. And I'm like, okay. And yeah, Joey Santiago, the guitar player. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know who that is, but that's cool, man. So we're there. My dad comes to the recording. We're doing, it's back in the day, so it's big old reel to reel. You had to pay for the reels, man. They were like expensive just to get the reel to make the recording, and then you had to pay for the engineer and the recording time and all this, and wasting all this money. And then he's like, yeah, this is Charles Thompson. This is Black Francis from the Pixies. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man. Nice to meet you. This is Joey Santiago. Oh, the guitar player. Okay, cool. Not till years later that I'm like, oh my God. I met the dudes from the Pixies when I was 15 they were at my recording session.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then so of course we record that, and that's when it felt like I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do. Because since I was like 14, 15, all my dad's friends and everybody, oh my God, your son's a phenomenon. He's gonna be rich and famous. Of course, I've been watching MTV, since it came out. I saw the Thriller world premiere on MTV at midnight. I begged my parents to let me stay up to see Thriller. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be rich and famous. Yeah, cool. And then nothing happened. And then the band, and then the recordings, I don't even know where they are anymore. Nothing happened. Blah blah blah. So I move on to the next thing, and then on to the next thing, and then on to the next thing. And it's always, even to this point, felt like it's always almost just at the tip of my fingers. Every band I get with, it feels like it's like we're almost there. It's always, my entire career has felt like that.
What would be like a measure for you of success? Like, how would you be like, I'm good?
Well, I would tell you, when I was younger, it was like everything I saw on MTV, man. Yeah. Like you see Bon Jovi, and they're like, oh, we're in Europe, or we're over here, we're on an airplane,
stadium shows.
For me, it was like, it was always, rich, be a famous rich person, blah blah blah. But it's always been about travel, to be able to go to other places, not have to pay for it, and do what we do. We play rock and roll or whatever. That was the goal, just to be able to, that's still my goal. But now, like I said, back in the day, it was about being rich and famous. Now it's just about being able to pay my bills, not have to have some money in my savings, not worry about, anything. I just want to be monetarily happy at this point,
I feel you.
And it feels like 100%. I've built my career to the point where I had to be like, you know what? I'm cool with all that rich and famous shit, man. I just want to be known as for a quality artist. Yeah. Somebody who does quality work, somebody that is going to bring something. Yeah. And that's why people like working with me. Yeah. Because I'm easy to work with, because I know what I'm doing. I'm seasoned after so many years, and it's also like,
you're very entertaining as well.
Yeah. That's why I moved. I'm an entertainer. Yeah. I call it like this. I was a drummer, then I became a musician, and then I became an artist. No, let's see. Drummer, performer, musician, artist, entertainer. Now I'm Princess Frank, one-man rock show, entertainer, musician, blah, blah, blah.
When and how did that transition of the name happen?
The Princess Frank?
Yeah, because it was in the 2000-ish.
It was, yeah. I all of a sudden, in about 2004, I was playing drums for a lot of people. I was in a band called Hidden, and I was in Killsonic and a bunch of stuff. And I just started letting myself be who I am, like at that point I had gone to college. I was doing things with Killsonic. We were trying to really be in the art of it. And I just, I got really into Marcel Duchamp, and I got really into just 20th century modern art a lot. I can go toe to toe with people that went to art school and know art, and I know exactly what person, what their movement was, what years they were active. Like, I know all that stuff because I studied it myself. I didn't go to school for that. You're
an avid reader.
I went to the library.
Yeah.
You know?
We used to share books.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm proud of my my books, that's it's trophies to me.
Yeah.
And but I started going to the library, and I would get DVDs from the library about artists. I would get books about artists, and we would hip each other to stuff. And then I just started to be more comfortable with whoever I am. Like, I don't care who you think I am. I know who I am. So because of Marcel Duchamp and because of all the things I just said, I started, I moved to being a front man and being on stage, and then I was just putting on the show that I want to see, And there's sometimes I'm up there with my guitar and I'm doing all these moves and I'm this shit, and in my head I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are right now? Who is this person? Like, but in my mind I'm laughing. I'm putting the guitar between my legs, and I'm just like, and everybody's like, yeah. But that's what I want to see.
It's entertaining.
It is, and that's what it should be.
You're also like one of the few people that like kept that like entertaining rock show vibe.
Yeah, I mean that's what one man rock show. Like, I'm up there with the bass drum, standing up, playing, doing the moves, trying not to fall. I mean, tacones, playing. Okay. Oh, I almost fell. Oh shit! But then it's also kind of comedic to me. To me it's just my art. But then when I became a front man, and I'm doing all this stuff, people are like, wow, you remind me of Prince. Yeah. I'm like, that is badass. Yeah. I never tried to be like Prince, but I will never forget the first day I saw Purple Rain on VHS at a party that my parents went to, and they're like, oh, let's just sit Frankie down over here. And I'm watching Purple Rain, and I was like, wow, like that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. But like I said, never trying to be anything like Prince. Can't play guitar like Prince. Yeah. I just have some moves.
Just sexy like Prince.
Yeah, and I'm just, exactly. And I had, and I was doing that. People were like, you remind me of Prince. And then it started to be off stage. People had never seen me perform. Like, oh, you remind me of Prince. And I was like, that's so badass. Thank you. I'm way more of a princess. And it was like, Princess Frank. Perfect. That's the most confusing shit I ever heard in my life. Yeah. That's what I'm going to be. From that moment on, I was like, I'm Princess Frank. Yeah. And to me, it's just a big middle finger. Like I said, I know who I am. If I want to wear tacones and lashes and dress however and be however I want, I don't care what you think. I've been, in 2004 when I became Princess Frank and I decided to do that, I used to get harassed. I remember one time I was in downtown and some dudes were walking down the street, just three bros, and I'm like just going to meet up with, I had my heels on and I'm just like, whatever, I don't fucking care. Swagging, And these guys are like, hey, you look like a bitch. And I was like, they were like, yeah, well, you look like a bitch. Oh yeah, fuck you, man. I just didn't even. Nope. Not gonna even engage you. I don't even care. That's your problem, and not mine. And why do you do?
That's a great way to do it.
Do you just walk up to people and just say whatever you want to them? No, that's what the internet's for, apparently. Fucking assholes. But that's where it all came from. It's just the short version is it's my rock and roll name.
Yeah. It's a perfect name. It's very fitting.
Yeah, and thank you. Yeah.
I mean, I love it. You are a princess, and you are Frank.
Yes. Depending. Yes. Now sometimes I'm Frankie.
Okay. Princess
I'm moving into Frankie.
Okay. I like
sometimes just to save time, because I always do the same thing. Frank, Princess Frank. Bond, James Bond. I say it the same way every time. But sometimes I'm just like, just Frankie right now.
Yeah. Well, it's all about what you feel like, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get into a little bit of the trajectory of your bands. So I first saw you when you were in the band called Hidden, and I didn't know you at all yet.
Right.
But I finally met you when Killsonic started rehearsing.
Because you were our neighbor.
At Rowan, yeah. And I knew Dominic.
I can't believe you lived like 4 houses away from me the whole time.
I knew Dominic from Alley Theater Center. He was a security guard way back in the days.
Right.
And I remember he gave me a flyer. He said, "Hey, come see my band. We play Iron Maiden covers." It was like he was that
rocker,
young,
man.
He was that young. And then when I was walking by one day, I saw him and he said hi. And then eventually started coming out and hanging around with Killsonic.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of, some of my favorite photos.
You have some amazing pictures of me, Ralph. I want to tell you, man. That one with me with the snare drum, the black and white, and then you got me with the microphone that one time. Oh my God, those pictures are amazing.
The snare drum is like one of my favorites.
Oh, I'm so glad. I love that one, man. You got a good shot.
Oh, dude, I completely forgot that I've had your copy of that since forever.
Oh yeah,
and you never picked it up.
Oh right. Yeah, I'd love to get it.
I should have brought that today, but I completely forgot. But anyways, I have that.
I know where you live.
Yeah. So, so it was a lot of fun going around back then and getting to see like how Killsonic fucking turned into the
A massive
beast that
mobile
it
orchestra.
became.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain to people what it was. How would you explain that? And
well, the short version is a massive mobile jazz orchestra. You know, but that started. Let's go back. So yeah, so when I went to college, Pasadena City College, which, I mean, is technically college, but it's not like most people call it college.
PCC again. I've brought it up a lot in this podcast. PCC Music brought up a lot of musicians that I know, and a lot of really good musicians.
Yeah,
that I know.
I mean, luckily I already had like 6 years of jazz study and rock and roll study outside of school before I even got to the program there. You know, because I didn't have the best grades, but Pasadena City College is right there.
Yeah.
I'm in Eagle Rock. I could take the bus even.
Perfect,
you know.
yeah.
So I'm studying music over there as a music major, and that's where I met Mike Ibarra and Dominic Rodriguez and Erika Organista. And that's where I met all these people that were going to become, first of all, my best friends. Second of all, my bandmates, my closest, our most artistic people that I've worked with, even still to this day.
Yeah.
I still talk about them and how their importance to me and how much I love them, even if they don't love me.
They love you. I think it has something to do with the age, because in those early to mid 20s, I think people grow in a way that really like reaches out further than themselves, and everybody in that room was larger than life at that moment. Everybody in that room.
The great part though was that we were all learning it together.
Exactly.
You know,
but you were all going through the same.
We were all going through the same program. We were all coming and the coming of age, and it's also, you know, I didn't know that I was going to study with a jazz legend at Pasadena City College. You know, Bobby Bradford was just my jazz teacher. You know, like he had seen me play already. So when I went to audition for the jazz combo thingy, I walked in and he's like, I didn't even hit a note, man. I walked in, he's like, you're in, don't even worry about it. I seen you play. I was like, right on.
What?
Cool. I didn't even, I went to the audition,
awesome.
didn't even take my sticks out of my bag. I sat at the drums and he said, don't worry, you're in. I'm like, all right, because I had already been, I know how to play jazz.
Awesome,
like I've been doing that shit for a long time, you know. So then I met, you know, my crew of friends, and then we started to, you know, we're playing jazz. We started a thing called Blue Metropolis. Because remember when like swing music was hot for 3 months back in like 1998 or something? It was like the shit, right?
Scroll on zippers.
Yeah, all that stuff was happening. So we're like,
cool though. Man.
Yeah, so like we were like, you know, Mike Ibarra approached me and he's like, yeah, what about do a thing like this? And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of tired of playing rock and roll, and this is what's hot right now. Let's give it a try. So we started like a jazz swing thing, which was cool, and we were all learning together, but we kept expanding. We kept going more like, oh, Bobby Bradford. Oh, he played with Ornette Coleman. Well, who's Ornette Coleman? And we're like, oh, everything. What? We're playing the wrong kind of jazz. We need to be doing this. This is what really excites us. Yeah. So we started getting more into the free jazz aspects and the structural and textural aspects of music, and hipping each other to you know, we were in college, so we're like, oh, check this book, oh, check this artist, oh, check this band, and we were just hipping each other to more and more stuff.
So much fun.
That it just became like, it became more than us. It became bigger than us, and we were just like bored of everything that was happening around us. Yeah. So we just decided, you know, I remember the day we played the Blue Metropolis and we were playing swing jazz, and I look and I'm just fucking bored. It was so bored. Because it's like, you know, in jazz music, it's like, oh, play the head, play the melody. Din, din, din. Okay, now you take a solo. Hey, you take a solo. Hey, you take a solo. And now play the head again. Yeah. You know, and it was just like the whole...
Like 8 songs with the same...
It's the same, you know? It's like, nothing happens. There's nothing to listen to, you know? I mean, the floor was packed. This was old days back in Mr. T's, and then, you know, back in the day, in the 90s.
Love Mr. T.
You know, late 90s, early 2000s. We were playing, packed house, everybody's dancing, and I just remember playing, and I was like, bored. I'm like totally bored. So we just decided to try different things and new things, and then we're like, you know what? This is not the same band anymore. This has got to be something else. But what is it? And then this symbol, the Killsonic symbol.
The camera right there.
The Killsonic symbol came about, and the symbol was there, and Mike and I knew, like, that's the name of the band. Because we, you know.
Oh, you drew it first without.
It was
giving it a
yeah.
name.
I came to Mike's wife Bianca in a dream, so she had a picture. She had like drawn it out, and she had seen this image, and we were like, "That's the name of the band." we don't know what the name is yet. But
That's
we started
fucking badass.
Yeah, but we started to because we like iconography.
Yeah.
You know, Black Flag has a symbol.
Yeah.
Bauhaus has a symbol. You know, fucking the Nazis. Terrible reference, but has a symbol. The symbol, when you have a symbol for something, it means more than you having to say what it is. You just know that that's the symbol. So when you see the symbol, you know it's that. So we started to just dismantle jazz completely. We were just wanted to take the whole shit apart and make it textural, make it so people have to listen, put in elements of 20th century classical music, noise, you know, structures, background figures where it's like stuff is just always happening, you know, it's like, or even the minimalist. I mean, there was one song that, you know, Brian Walsh, who was a huge part of putting this all together with, who I love very much as well still because of his incredible imagination. He went to Cal Arts, and a lot of students I met from Cal Arts are really imaginative. They're really pushing for something else. Whereas a lot of players I met from USC, for example, nothing against USC, except it's way expensive, and they teach jazz by the book there. And a lot of players I met from there were really technically good players, but complete lack of imagination, you know? And so
I could totally see that completely, especially like having been a guest of the Red Cat for so long. Like everything that the Red Cat puts on comes through Cal Arts. And it's always shit that's pushing the envelope of either theater, of dance, or animation. Everything. Like
everything they put on there is on the avant-garde tip.
It's fucking crazy.
I love it. I love it there. And we did. Killsonic did an opera there, which we'll talk about later. But there was the whole fact of dismantling music and sound, and then we started to think of sound as a medium. It's not just music. If there's audio arts as a medium, painter, you know, all these things are mediums. Sound is also a medium. So this isn't just music anymore. This is, you know, we would go to museums together and be like, how do you create the texture of that? You know, his frost. How do you create frost? What's the sound of that? What's the sound of mirror? What's the sound of clear? We never figured that one out. That's a difficult one. What is the sound of clear? But no, I mean, like looking at painting has, you know, texture and there's color. The colors mean a certain thing. The strokes mean a certain thing. The amount of, you know, all of that stuff. And we started just putting those same ideas into music. Wow. And then we just started to take it apart. And then at 3 months, we're waiting for what the name of this symbol is. And then we just said something dumb like, we should start like a fake rock band. And then we'll call it Killsonic Method or something. And I was like, Killsonic. That's the name. And we all went, whoa. For 3 months, we were throwing names around. And finally, Killsonic. Okay, fine.
Wait, do you remember a really bad name?
No.
All right, go ahead.
I get rid of those. So then we went back to doing what we do as Killsonic. And all of our friends came. They loved Blue Metropolis. And they fucking hated us.
What?
They hated us for
wow.
it. They're like, why did you do that to us? You guys were playing such cool music. Like, no, we weren't. You can buy that anywhere. This is something that we make specifically.
Yes.
And I had a friend of mine who came to see us once. She's like, why don't you just call your band Fuck You?
That's a good fucking
like,
name, actually.
Pretty much, we kind of are.
That's good.
We kind of are, but with an artistic thing to it. Yeah. So then we just started to be Killsonic, but it was more challenging. It was more daring. You know, it was more interesting to us because we had to be aware. There wasn't any looking around, thinking about what you're going to do after the gig, or like my teacher used to say, you don't want to be thinking about a big falafel or something that you're going to get after the show, or some pussy you're going to get later, you know what I mean? Like,
but not only you guys, but the audience was also like drawn to you and could not turn away. No. You could not turn away as an audience member because some shit's going to happen and you're going to miss it if you turn
the thing
away.
Was, too, we would play with the rock and roll kids. Like rock and roll bands. Like, we're not going to play with the jazz bands because the jazz people hated us because we were too bombastic, they said. You know? Because we were actually trying to do something challenging. We weren't just playing you know, whatever.
Which I don't hate.
No, of course. I love that stuff too, but as far as like what we were doing, like I said, we were approaching it from an artistic medium.
And that's why you guys became so fucking like the people to see, because you were doing that. If you had kept playing the standard shit, you know, would have just came and gone.
Yeah.
But because you did push, because you did create something, because you did fucking like light a fire under the fucking downtown art scene.
Yeah.
You fucking lit a fire under that shit in those years.
Well, what we did was we didn't play with the jazz people, and then we played with the rock kids, and they loved it, but they couldn't listen. You know, like the times when we were like, you have to listen. Yeah. They were like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then we got loud. They're like, yeah. And then we get soft, and they're like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, but once we found the downtown art scene, God, that was in the early 2000s. Once we got into there, because my friend Cheyenne, kind of, I went to college with, kind of made that Gallery Row thing, her and some friends. And then we started playing the art galleries, and it's like, this is where we belong. This is perfect. The people that need to see us is the people that listen.
So many things like have to fucking line up for this to happen. Yeah. Which was all of you guys going to school at the same time. All of you guys having that one teacher that was very inspirational to a lot of people, even before you and after you, because so many other bands have come out of that scene. Yeah. And then this fucking magical thing starts to happen downtown. Yeah. Where they're starting the Gallery Row shit, and they're starting the fucking art walks, and these things did not exist before. No, you guys found this fucking home, in these quiet galleries, and you would come in,
exactly. But then in the meantime, like I said, I'm a drummer, so in the meantime, I'm playing in my band Hidden. It was bass, drums, and vocals with my friend Joey Maramba, who now plays with John Cale from the Velvet Underground because he's amazing. And we were doing that for a while, as you know, as the rock and roll scene. And then I started a 3-piece band, which later turned into a 2-piece band with Dominic Rodriguez, who was in Killsonic, also from PCC. And we started a rock and roll 2-person rock and roll band called Master Slave,
which was another.
And it was a force of nature, the two of us. You know, it was just rock and roll show, big, huge amps, big drums, big heels. Like, you know, and I'm like, we put on a rock show, and all that was happening at the same time, you know. And then Hidden stopped playing, and then I started doing Master Slave, and then Killsonic just started becoming. I mean, I still played music with other bands, but like Killsonic was just like always my focus. It was it was like my real art, you know. Like I could still jump on the drums with anybody. I haven't even heard your music. I already know. How's it go? Okay. Oh, okay, 8 bars. Okay, it's chorus. Okay, chorus, 16 bars. Okay. Oh, pre-chorus. Oh, cool. So that's gonna be 4 to 8. Okay, 8 bars. Boom. Chorus. Boom. Oh, bridge. Okay, 16 bars. Bridge. A stop. Ah, good one. Okay. And we're going back to We're gonna go back to the bridge. We're gonna go back to the verse or the chorus. It's the chorus. Hey. And people are like, "Oh, you're amazing." I'm like, dude, it's rock and roll. I know that, but to be with Killsonic and to do that, you have to pay attention. You know, you have to listen to each other. And that comes from jazz school. Because in jazz school, even though you're playing and somebody's soloing, you gotta, the teacher was always like, hey, listen to what they're doing. Say they're playing, then you play them together. Boom, you know, like everybody's in it. We're looking at each other. Everything felt, when I was playing jazz with Killsonic, when we were like doing stuff, everything felt like we were right here. Like, I'm looking, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing over here? What are we doing over here? And those are the times the only times I felt like I'm floating. When we're really in a tune and we're all just going. I feels like I'm just this much off the ground. It just feels like I'm not on the ground anymore, and we're just like, everything's just like moving like that, you know? But, you know, I was doing Master Slave, which to me, and I became Princess Frank in that era because it was pushing rock bands. Like, oh, here comes a rock band. And I'm like, yeah, boom, woo, yeah, motherfucker, you know, and just like Led Zeppelin the shit out of it. And the outfits, exactly.
Black tape on your nipples.
The black tape and the tape. I mean, that was all the part of the visual.
It was dope.
Yeah, to me, it was, I mean, there's a visual aspect to performance.
And it separated you from your other stuff because you had that outfit and you had that style just for that.
Well, it's to be subversive, to challenge the listener and the audience and the viewer and myself. Like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it with confidence, and I'm just going to, you know, go for it. Yeah. And that all came from Killsonic. Yeah. Like, why are we going to do any art and be timid about it or be doing what we see? We have to be going further. We have to be pushing our art and ourselves and the audience and the world We have to be pushing always.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just like, yeah, you can turn on the radio and hear that whatever shit anytime you want. But when you hear something, you're like, whoa, what was that? Like, that's the reaction we want.
So I'm just like seeing, well, not for the, I think you as a person have always been that. Like, you have always been like just trying to push things and trying to grow things and trying to like, but also at the same time, like the most entertaining, like fireball in the room, you know, like running around, like in Killsonic, there was 25 people.
Right.
But fucking Frank was right there fucking hitting
Well, because
the drum
because
and-
what I'm doing is try to like excite people.
Yeah.
And show people, like people that have never played music would, you know, when I work with them, I want them to be excited about what we're doing. You know, like, here's how you do this. Get excited about this. Like when I was running around at the drum, I'm like, yeah, right in your face. Woo, yeah, we're in it. Yeah, let's get it. Woo. And that's like, that whole thing is what keeps everybody there. Like when I'm on stage, I always turn around and look at my drummer or whatever. When I hear something good or something bad, like, oh, hey, woo, you know, oh, we messed up. Boom. You know, and it's like, because I enjoy this. I have an insatiable lust for life, and I want it to be what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to go, oh, I wish I would have done this, wish I would have done that. You know, like still, like I said, I haven't been successful as I want to be, but I am successful in myself. I'm successful in my art. I'm successful in my body of work, and that's good enough for me, you know? Not that I want to be broke or poor or anything like that. I mean,
No.
I just want to, like I said, I just want to make a living.
Yeah.
I just want to make a living, maybe be able to buy a house, even though now I guess it's impossible to buy a house. But that's all I want. But I want the life, I want to be happy, and I want to have fun, and I want to do it with my friends, and I want to show you how to do it, so that we can all be happy together. You know, like I've told my friends, our job in this world, to me, is to inspire each other, make each other happy, show each other how to be happy, love each other, you know, even if there's friends I haven't talked to in years, or somebody I think of for a minute. I thought I'd send them a text real quick. I'll just talk it. Hey, thinking of you, blah, 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 blah. Send. Just in that one little minute, you know what I mean? And that means everything, because everything in the world to me, my friends are everything. I would be nothing without my audience. I'd be nothing without my friends. And I'm just trying to be a good person. And I'm not even trying to get into heaven. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even care. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm just trying to be good for what it is, and I want to be happy. And I'm excited, you know? Like, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to talk.
You're actually the first person who was like, Rafa, put me on.
Yeah, man.
Since the first episode.
I'm like, you got podcasts? Put me on, baby. I can talk.
Yeah. And again, I was trying to, I was explaining to Frank before we started recording that I was trying to do a whole month of Killsonic people, but we are spreading them out, and I will have some more Killsonic people.
Well, Killsonic people are worth talking to because of the same reasons
definitely.
that I brought up. You know, we all come from that same kind of pedigree, you know. But I did see how you had Rafa Esparza on too a while back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. He's,
I mean, and you're gonna have Dorian. That's gonna be amazing as well. He is fantastic.
Yeah.
In so many ways. You
Can't
know.
wait to have him on.
Yeah, I remember when I first met him. I went to interview him for Downtown magazine. We just.
Were you writing for Citizen back then too?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I wrote a couple. Yeah, I wrote a couple things. But I interviewed Dorian. We got along so well, and there was something about his spirit and mine that just, you know, we just became friends immediately. And then when we started doing Killsonic, it was like, yeah, you know, we just all hung out and we were all excited about this thing, and we were like, why don't we just do this thing?
Yeah.
Instead of like your band, my band, let's just be one giant band. And that's where the premise of Killsonic as a large mobile ensemble came apart, you know, like because we wanted to get rid of the conventions. This is again pushing. Why do we want to go to a venue and play directionally at people? You know, so you're the audience and I'm the band. Here's the music just comes this way, and you also need microphones, and you need a stage, and you need electricity, and you need all that stuff. But sound doesn't only come at you directionally. Sound can come at you from all kinds of directions. Well, what if we had a bunch of instruments that didn't require electricity? Then we don't need venues. We don't need electricity. We don't need promoters. Fucking promoters. How many people are you gonna bring? Well, then don't fucking whatever. I'm bringing 20 people. They're all in my band.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
So we just decided to, what if we didn't need all that? What if we could just play wherever we want? So we don't need electricity. So instead of a guitar player, we could get some accordions to play the guitar parts. Instead of bass players, we get a tuba player. Instead of drum set, we could have, like a drum line.
Yeah.
And we can have, trombones, trumpets, saxophones, and accordions, drums, tubas, and we can do that. We can still get the same thing across as the setting of an orchestra. Also, when you go see an orchestra, they're stationary.
Yeah.
You go see Disney Concert Hall, whatever, you're watching, they don't move. The sound comes from a certain direction or sometimes all around. But if you are able to move, if I want to hear the tubas more, I'll go stand by them. Yeah. Sometimes the sound can go this way, or sometimes whoever you hear is what you hear most. Sometimes the sound comes up above you. Sometimes the sound bounces off a wall there. Sometimes the sound hits the floor and comes up. Yeah. Or I can put a whole section of accordions. You guys go over there. So you hear us over here, and you hear the accordions over there. Yeah. Okay, everybody stop.
Those accordions are creepy always.
Yeah, everybody stop. And you hear the accordions. Like, what? Okay, come over here. And there they come. And that's the whole point of making Killsonic the large format.
When did all that end? And I do want to get, before we run out of time, I do want to get into like what you're doing now.
Oh, yeah. Well, Killsonic was alive in the large format Killsonic, first of all, is a standard group. Started in 2000 until about 2008. It was a drum set, congas, guitar, upright bass, clarinet or saxophone, trumpet, and trombone sometimes. We did things mostly like that until we decided to do large format. And then that started in 2008 and ended around 2013. It was just a lot of work. Yeah. It was a lot. I mean, I was in charge, or Mike and I were in charge of
that is
like
a really
20 to 30 people on the regular.
Yeah. So even the small band is difficult when you're managing 4 people.
Yeah.
So fucking managing that many people, and then contracts, and then different venues.
And then contacting everybody, and then, but the thing was, we had rehearsal every Tuesday night at the same place at the same time. Yeah. We're going to do this. Come down if you want. Yeah. And everybody just came. Yeah. And we had on average 20 people at rehearsal every Tuesday. Yeah. In a tiny room in the living room of Mike's, right? House, yeah. But we all fit in there, but it was scheduled every Tuesday without fail. So everybody came and everybody wanted to be a part of it, and it just became this family, this community of really interesting, nerdy, intellectual people that all hipped each other to things and went to each other's shows in their own bands, and like we booked stuff together, and it became this massive family thing. Like we'd go to New York, we had to be like 10 grand. We'd have to raise money like 10 grand to get like 25 people to go to New York. Like we did that three years in a row. Yeah. And then we just bombed on New York, man. We're just like, hey, let's go play over here. Go play over there. Let's play on the subway. Let's play over there. Oh, let's play a show, and then let's go on into the sidewalk. Oh man, one time we played the Troubadour. Actually, twice. One time we played the Troubadour. They were very excited to have us. You've been to Troubadour?
Not inside, no.
Okay, the inside, when you walk in, you're at the side of the stage, and then you go to the front of the stage here. So we played the Troubadour, rocked it out, and then we went right out the side door, side of the stage, onto Santa Monica Boulevard. Blocked traffic. People came out of the place next door. People came out of Dan Tana's. People came out of everywhere. Wow. People were just in their cars, just like, nobody honked though. Yeah. Nobody was pissed. Everybody was just like, whoa. And we were playing Santa Monica Boulevard. We only played for maybe 5 minutes. We don't want to be dicks about it. Played, went back in. I got a call the next day from the promoter. Pissed. How dare you do that? That is not in your contract. That is unacceptable. Blah, 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 blah. You never playing here again. Blah, blah, blah. And then a couple months later, we got booked to play there again. We did the exact same thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that was it was the freedom.
Yeah,
and that
was the Killsonic vibe.
Yeah, man.
It was a fuck you.
Freedom. Yeah, it was fuck you. And if it's your first night in Killsonic, you have to solo.
And you're either the one saying fuck you or the one that they're saying fuck you too.
Right.
So I'm behind you guys.
Right.
So I'm the one also.
Right. No, because it's like to me with art, it's like You either, I want a reaction.
Yeah.
I either want you to be like, this is amazing, or I'm gonna be like, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
But not like, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
the indifference, I don't want that middle ground.
Yeah.
I want you to either love it or hate it, but I just want some kind of reaction, because that's the point of art.
Yeah.
You know, you go to a museum or like, you just say, no, you don't want that. You want to be like, wow, this is amazing. How did this, you know, that's the point.
Yeah.
Because you can turn on the radio and go, let's just hear it in the background.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I need to push this forward, but
Yeah,
I
go
do
for it.
want to talk a little bit about how you became an actor. And now you're in movies.
Right. Well,
What the
this
fuck?
comes from, yeah, I know. This comes from, you know, years of being an entertainer and a performer.
Yeah.
So, you know, we did with Killsonic in 2010, we did the opera at the Red Cat Theater, which was amazing. They called us
Was that written by Tepperman?
Joseph Tepperman, and
Who's fucking amazing.
yeah, and that was huge. I mean, they called us a theater group in the LA Weekly, and it's like, no, we're just a band of weird people. So we did that.
But he went on to write some pretty good plays too.
He's amazing.
amazing, yeah.
And then some of the performers became actors. In you know, it was all in house. We had the singers. We have singers. We're gonna need megaphones because they need to be able to move around, and the designers and everything. And there was a couple of us in charge of that, and that was the most grueling 3 months of my life, for 3 days.
Wow.
You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it was amazing. But I have to say that Killsonic was the smoothest running band I've ever been in my life,
Wow.
because everybody was a part of it. It wasn't me. Every rock and roll band I've been in, even when there was two people, me and Dominic, like one of us is running late. Oh, great. Okay, I'm here. I'll just do it by myself. And that's how I became the one-man rock show.
That's fucking crazy.
Was because, you know, being in rock and roll bands with just a few people, why is that so difficult? And I have a huge mobile jazz orchestra of like 30 people.
Yeah.
And it was smooth, like smoothest running thing ever.
Wow.
But because of my experience with doing Killsonic and being an entertainer, I was approached by the director, Mars Roberge, and he's like, I really like your music. I want to put your music in one of my movies. I said, sure, here, have this song. And then he approached me because he did a documentary, and he wanted a song for the ending credits. Then he approached me again. He's like, you know, I'm running this movie. And I'm like, cool, I'll put some music in it. He's like, no, I think I want you to be in it.
Nice.
Like, oh, in it? Yeah, sure, I'll do it. You know, thinking I'm going to be like a small character. And he's like, no, you're going to be the lead. I'm like, dude, I'm not an actor. He's like, yeah, but I seen you. You know how to turn it on and off. You are a better actor than most actors I've worked with.
Yeah.
And I was like, word? Okay. All right, go for it. What's the movie called? Scumbag. I'm like, oh, fucking great. Hey, Mom, I'm in a movie finally. What's it called? Scumbag. Typecast. Hey, I'm a nice lady, okay? I'm not a scumbag.
I'm just saying.
Regardless of what other people might say about me. I'm a nice person, but I am a scoundrel.
That is pretty funny.
So he put me, so the movie, it came out in 2015 or 16. The movie is about, actually the director, Mars Roberge, he is a movie about a period in his life where he worked as a telephone operator and all the crazy people that he worked with.
Like a real zero operator.
No, like an operator for, they sold like office supplies.
Oh, so
like
telemarketer.
Telemarketer. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I mean. He worked as a telemarketer.
That's funny.
And he had all these crazy
I
people
did
that
that
he
for
worked
2
with.
days. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, he did this for like a year. I don't know how long. And I don't know how long it was, but he had this whole story to tell about his time doing that. And so the movie is about him being a scumbag. Like, you're just like ripping people off, you know? Telemarketers are just rip people off, man. Like, hey, what was the they said, I got a boner for some toner. You know, like, you got to call up people and be like, hey, do you need this? And you're just like pocketing money on the side, and everybody had these side jales, and everybody's just being a scumbag.
That's crazy.
You know, so in the movie, I play a version of him that is like, you know, I'm just a regular guy, and I end up becoming this terrible person because I work with all these terrible people doing this terrible shit.
That's
And
crazy.
so I spent a lot of the movie like looking bewildered and like stuff like that, because I'm just kind of like, I can't believe the things that are going on here, you know. But it was my first acting gig, and it was
And
just
it's a
like,
fucking feature film.
it was a feature film, and I'm the lead. My face is there the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I need a song. We have a dance sequence. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll write a song. And then he calls me. He's like, hey, do you have that song? I'm like, no, not yet. He's like, well, I need it like this week. I'm like, shit. Okay, and I put the song away for a few days. And then I was like hanging out with a friend. And she's like, I have some, what did she have? I have some LSD. Let's take LSD. So taking LSD, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, that song. Oh, I have to do like tomorrow.
So you're on fucking LSD.
On LSD, I put the two pieces of the song together, and okay, that's good. I booked the time in the studio to record it. I hadn't finished it yet. I hadn't even the lyrics yet.
Yeah.
So I go in with my buddy, record it. Okay, I already have it structured in my head because that's how I work with music. I already have the structures already down. So it's like I went in, played the guitar, played the drums. The actress co-star gets there, we're doing a duet, and she's like, okay, what are the lyrics? I'm like, I haven't written them yet. She's like, what are you? We're in the studio. I'm like, give me a minute. And let's go. 40 minutes later, boom, there you go. Okay, sing it like this, do this. I turn in the song. He puts it in the movie. There's a dance sequence where there's a traffic jam and everybody gets out of the car and my song plays and I had to learn this whole dance move thing. It was, wow. I had to learn, choreography and dance with this person and all this stuff. And then that happens. And then like a couple months later, before Scumbag comes out, was it Hollywoodland comes out? Do you remember the one with Ryan Gosling and
La La Land?
La La Land. La La Land comes out, and they do the exact same sequence in that movie. So then when Scumbag comes out, everybody's like, oh yeah, La La Land. Like, nah, fool, we did that first, but whatever. So yeah, I was an actor in the movie, and and the weird part is I got cast in like a student film and like another acting gig. Just so happens in that same year. Nice. And I haven't gotten another acting gig since.
Well, maybe you should go out for some. Like if you don't go out, you're not going to continue to get. Because these are all people that call you. Right.
But that's the thing, man. I have a lot of friends that work in LA that are actors, and it's just it's a racket, man. Of course. It's just such a racket. They spend all their time.
It's as difficult as the music industry.
Yeah, but with music, but it's I enjoy music. Like I've heard from actor friends of mine. You're so lucky you get to be a musician because it's instant gratification. Yeah. Where it's like, and it wasn't until I was in a movie that I realized that.
You act and you let it go.
Yeah, you got to act, do your best, and then let it go, and then you finally see it, and you hope it's good. Yeah. You hope you did good.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, I mean, that's pretty awesome because I wish that I had been in some movies yet, but I have not, but maybe one day. I just want to shout out that you have been at the fucking Thirsty Grow in
Silver Lake.
I mean, I know that there was the pandemic shut it down for a bit. You have like the longest running
residency in Los Angeles. Yeah,
in Los Angeles, and this is with your one man
rock show, man.
So if you guys want to come see Princess Frank, come out to the Thirsty Crow on.
Well, I'm gonna be busy with 2 big projects all summer, so I might not be there. Damn. I did it every Sunday for 10 years until pandemic. So that was a long time. Sunday, no matter what. Like I would be playing a show in Joshua Tree or fucking whatever, Vegas or Palm Springs. I got to be back at Thirsty Crow Sunday. So I'd show up all ta-da, all hungover. Let's do it, yay! And then I did that every Sunday. My one-man rock show, Princess Frank, for 10 years, and now everybody's like, when are you going to come back? And I'm like, I had time to think about it. Yeah. How did I do that? For 10 years. How did I do most of what I do for a living? I run around town and rehearse for a couple $100 here and there, and that's my job, and I'm used to it, and that's fine. I also have a day job where I teach in an after-school enrichment program, but I get to teach music. So I play music for a living. But, doing that at Thirsty Crow was just, man, how did I do that? That's crazy. So I've been doing it once or twice a month now, but I'm not going to be able to do it for the whole summer because I'm involved in something else with Angelo from Fishbone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to bring that up too. So you're currently also in the band called Dr. Mad Vibe and the Missing Links.
The Missing Links, yeah, with Angelo, the singer for Fishbone. And I've been with him for about 8 years as his drummer. And that's the most challenging stuff I've done on the drums since Killsonic. Really? Okay, that's kicks my ass, and that's what I love about it. It's not it's not the easiest music to listen to, because it's kind of schizophrenic. It's kind of all over the place, but I have a lot of fun playing it, and it's just I use all of my skills as a drummer because like a lot of times like I said, except for Killsonic, a lot of times I play in a band. It's this style or it's that style, but this is like all the styles put in like one song even. And it's even stuff in there that I'm like, oh, yeah, I can play reggae. Oh, yeah, I can do that. And then Angelo's like, no, you're playing it wrong, man. And then he shows me how to play it, and I'm like, shit. Here I was thinking I know how to play everything.
Yeah.
but I'm still learning.
Yeah, of course.
And that's
awesome. Yeah.
an exciting part of life,
Yeah.
is to still learn. Stop calling me, Mom.
Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I'm working with Angelo, and we're going to be doing a thing called Revive all summer at the Viviana Church on Main and 2nd. It's an immersive food and performance experience that starts on June 16th and runs till July 27th, I think.
Wow. Explain it to me,
yeah,
please.
so
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be...
Not only is the building like a fucking amazing... like
Yes, we're going to take a full advantage of that space. There's going to be aerialist performers. It's a full artistic immersion experience with a dinner show attached to it.
Wow.
So I'm the musical director for that, and been very involved in the creative process of putting on the show because of my experience with Killsonic and doing the opera and all the things, pretty much everything I've ever done.
Wow.
And so I'm a good band leader. I'm also a very imaginative person when it comes to presenting things visually, So it's like they've been really nice and wonderful as far as like having me part of the creative process as far as creating the entire experience.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing.
What's that ticket
so
gonna
that's
cost?
the Revive. It's it's $250 a person.
But it's a full dinner.
It's a full dinner, 3-course meal plus
show.
the experience and show. There's the
Might I ask who the chef is, or
who's the chef? It's the building attached to. It's attached to the Viviana Church. I should have looked it up ahead of time.
That's
Sorry.
okay. There's the restaurant that's next door then. But yeah, there is a famous restaurant there.
Yeah, and the chef. I should have looked all that stuff up before I came. Sorry about that. But the show's called Revive.
Yeah.
It's going to be running at the Viviana Church on Main and 2nd in downtown LA from June 16th until I believe July 27th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and 2 shows a day.
Wow.
So it's going to be a late evening show, and a early nighttime show.
I also want
90 minutes.
That's worth the ticket if you got the money.
Yeah, right.
Because that restaurant is a fucking famous restaurant. Yeah. I want to also shout out your other band, Glass Kitten.
Oh, Glass Kitten. Yeah. Oh, thanks for doing your research. I like that.
A little bit.
Yeah, Glass Kitten is a project I just started working on with my good friend Lena.
Yeah.
Lena Love, and she.
That looks more rock.
It's like a grunge rock kind of throwback thing, and she's just an excellent songwriter, and it's been really fun for me to develop her as an artist and help her. Because it's somebody I work with people I really believe in, and I actually the reason I'm in so many bands is not just because of my skill level, because I would get bored with one style, but also because I just like creating with people. That's my favorite part. Like I said, giving to people, helping each other. Like I like work. It's like she brought me a couple songs, and then I was like, okay, that's cool, and then she disappeared for a little while, and I was like, hey, what happened to the homegirl? And she came back with this incredible pop song, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. So I've been working with her and kind of like developing her, and
you play drums in that band?
I play drums in that band, yeah. But she's an incredible songwriter, and she also, I have a bevy of songs that I have written, sometimes even recorded and structured, and they're ready to go, but they don't have lyrics and vocals. So I'm like, I would get to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'll write the lyrics and vocals eventually, and it's like, and then I have this instrumental rock song that all it needs is vocals. So I'm like, hey, you put some lyrics and vocals to this, and she does, and I'm so thankful.
That's awesome,
I'm so thankful that she can bring my songs to life, because otherwise probably nobody would ever hear them. Because they're just songs that I'm eventually going to finish. But instead, I get to give them to her, and she brings them to life. And I appreciate that so much, All right. And I get to bring her songs to life.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a give and both. It's a give and give.
Yeah.
Well, we are definitely out of time.
Well, there's more. No.
I want to say what's your Instagram so people can follow.
Oh, Princess Frank Official.
Princess Frank Official on Instagram.
All one word. Yeah.
And do you have a website?
I did have princessfrank.com for a while. I still own the domain, but I need to update it because there's just a lot. Yeah. And I'm involved in so many projects. It's like my own stuff is the thing that I always kind of takes a backseat to everything else because I'm having so much fun with everybody else because I know what I do. I'm tired of what I do. But that's cool, man. I'm just
well,
gonna do
find
it.
him on Instagram at Princess Frank Official.
Yeah, Princess Frank Official.
And at the end of every show, there's a question that we ask everybody. And so this question, think about it for a second.
Okay.
And try to answer in one sentence.
Ooh, okay.
And oh, you know what? Remember back in the days when you guys would be playing, and I would shout, "How do you do it?"
Oh.
Right? So that question, I brought this up already a few times on this show. I'm sorry if you guys are hearing it again, but that question was because when you guys would play, you guys would create this amazing fucking vibe, amazing feeling, and as drunk Rafa back then, I'd be like, "How do you do it?" It was a real question.
It's
like,
okay. I was drunk too.
coming from the gut, you know, like, how the fuck do you guys do this shit? And now I ask the same question, but in a different setting, a one-on-one setting, and it's just, you know, if a being from another planet or a spirit from another dimension came over and they only had one question and you only had one sentence, and they looked at you and everything that you did, and they just asked you, Frank, how do you do it? What would your answer be?
Instinct.
Instinct. In one word. That's it. The first person to answer in one word. Instinct. I love that.
It's my instinct. It's the only thing I know how to do, and the only thing I know how to do well. And it's communicating without words.
Oh, see, now he added more shit.
Well, no, but it's instinct.
No, it's good.
That's how animals communicate. They don't use words. They have instinct.
Yep.
They can tell. They can feel, and that's what it is. That's why I say instinct, because humans, we forget that we're wild animals. We don't need words to communicate, but we rely on them. And so when I'm playing music, that's instinctual. We're not having a conversation. We're having a feeling, you know? That's instinct. Yeah. Ya tú sabes. Now we're going to move into Harpo Marx territory.
I was doing exactly what you were talking about.
Right.
All right, so that's it, everybody. Thank you very much, and we will see you next week.